evening, my friends. Welcome back for another wild chapter of Lord of Water. For me, this is the best time of the evening. A bit of imagination, fantasy, sci-fi, science fiction, action-packed adventure. Let's get busy. For all of you trucker audiobook listeners, I hope you enjoy the chapter. I certainly will. And all of you avid sci-fi listeners, let's get stuck into it. Chapter 2 really gets things moving. An adventure novel. Chapter 2. On the deck with Gary, the Disentanglement. Shane came back on deck to find Gary still at the bridge. High sun had built up to full energy flow once again, easing at an even height, cutting a clean angle through the tops of the ocean swells below. We've got some nice momentum happening now, Gary. She's riding so much quicker than on our journey in. That's right, Shane. Now that we're riding the swells, she slices beautifully either way. But when we ride with the direction of the ocean swells, it really is something else. I can feel it. She flies like a Slinker Bird, touching the tops of her wings on the crest of the swells. Effortless, I spoke softly to Gary. We surely are on an adventure now, Shane. I haven't much touched these waters on this side of the globe. I feel we're going to find new things that I haven't come close to for many lifetimes past. Maybe even some never experienced before, uttered Shane. Gary contemplated Shade's words and thought of the past. Now that's what I'm in for. Tell me more about that planet, Shane. You know, Blue 3. It sounds so incredible to me. Shane replied, "It's quite a place. Insane beyond belief." Well, it was, but it has a special feel about it too. I made a good home there. Gary paused, thought, and shot again. Shane, these dark beings, what is it with these guys? And how do you handle them? Shane replied, Blue 3 wasn't really much in relation to true evil, but you can never underestimate the damage that can be caused when even minor grade bad guys, as found on Blue 3, are concerned. We all have the power to imagine and create the most amazing effects. And what some of these guys got up to was no exception. Gary and Shane paused for a while to take in the stars and the colourfully lit clouds, moving in contrast to the distant galaxies. The smaller moon sat low and clean, still casting a shimmering reflection to the left of high sun's line. Below, the dorsals turned easily with the wake of the keel. Gary broke the silence with some cool dorsal facts, as always. They travel in their sleep. You can see the front and rear sentries holding the line, all of the rest pocketed into the energy wave and shut down to recharge themselves. Gary sat back on his stool, with the fingertips of his right hand just touching the rod to let High Sun know he was still with her. She knows where we want her to take us. Tomorrow we'll find some calm corner and give her a well-deserved break. Now, tell me how it is that you can handle these dark beings. Any Lord has this ability, and in truth, any one of us can become a Lord. It is called the Disentanglement. Deep down, we really are all basically good. But what more powerful energy cell than the Spirit himself, placed inside of a black machine and then convinced that his actions are good. If arranged properly, you could keep a dark being enslaved and in full force forever. For as you know, Gary, we are immortal spirits, and whatever it is we believe is right or wrong, we will keep on carrying out as many right actions as we can, no matter how bad they actually are. That is what we do, yeah? Exclaimed Gary. He was laughing and could now see so clearly all of those crazy little idealities that we do and sometimes keep on doing because they seem right. You've really got it, Gary. What a lack of fun and life we could be missing out on if we didn't have a problem here and there to challenge us from time to time. This is the exact point you are demonstrating right here in front of me. But the dark being is so trapped that there is no way he could even be able to stop and take a look at himself or his actions. It is just not within his capabilities, so he just needs a little help. And how do you do that, Gary asked. As I said, Gary, it is an ability that all of us lords have. We just disentangle the being from this trap. It goes a bit like this. Once we can get in close enough to the being himself, we just touch him and establish a streaming contact. It's a connection, Gary replied. Sounds easy, but how do you get close enough? Well, that's a whole other kettle of fish. In the future, you will be helping me get close when the time comes. Well, thanks for letting me know, Shane. I hate to ask, but once you have this connection established, what do you do then? Well, Gary, they are just trapped in a machine, barely visible like the haze of a black cloud, but a machine nonetheless. The spirit is trapped in and is operating purely on the information that the machine feeds him. Generally, the calculation is along the line of destroy to victory. Not just destroy a few things, I mean to carefully and computationally destroy all others about him until eventually all are dead or enslaved, even himself. Now that is a dark idea. What do you do with that? That's right, Gary. It is a black thought, but nothing more than a machine. To explain it in the simplest way possible, it is no less than a miracle to take a spirit and draw him back away from that machine so that he can see it clearly. See it from the perfect life force that he is, and to see the machine and what it does and nothing less. So what happens to him? Gary asks. Well, there is always some entertainment involved, and this is what usually happens. When he is clearly able to see the machine for what it is and what it is doing to him, then the disentanglement begins. Voiced Gary. The machine has recorded a perfect stream of all that it has put the being through, all of those vulgar transgressions in wonderful animation, ready to present itself at any time. At that moment of disentanglement, it all plays back, one after the other, so clearly for the being to see. All of the lives that were killed, all of the trickery and treachery, one after the other, until each and every one of them are streamed into clear view, presenting to the being what he has been through and, more importantly, what he has done. And then, asked Gary. And then we have the weeper. The grief, regret, and sadness has to come out somewhere, and it lasts anywhere from a short moment up to a matter of days. The being goes through the weeper and cries and cries and cries until finally it is all gone. Then he will pick himself up and just do what we all do so naturally. Find a way that we can get busy and help. Wow, I think I would also like to do that, my young lord. It sounds like it would be great fun. I think you're up for it, Gary. Already you are proving yourself to be Lord of the Wild Seas. I can show you if you like, and if needed, you could help me too. I would like that, young Shane, for I am never happier than to help another. So, Gary, with the trap of this machine exposed and the mystery unravelled by the being, this dark machine has nothing left to keep it alive, and it just falls apart, evaporating into the ether. That is so cool, Gary replied, as he gleamed at his own imagination of the possibilities. It is very cool, but the difficulty that we face is not to disentangle and free these beings. it is in getting close enough to do so, or not to be destroyed while trying to get there. I have full confidence in you, my young lord. We have a mighty team and we will do whatever it takes, no matter what we come up against. Thank you, Gary. Your bravery and loyalty is clearly demonstrated. We will do just fine. Max and Pace suddenly appeared with a pre-morning breakfast for Gary and Shane. They feasted as the first sign of sunrise touched the horizon. Then Gary and Shane retired for a long nap while Max and Pace took control and carried out the orders of the day. A Slinker Bird, spearing scout birds that often travel with ocean boats seemingly as a guide. They not only follow the journey, but will also scout a huge circumference as though keeping the watch. There you go, guys. That one is one of my favourite chapters, and looking forward to tomorrow night. Lord of Water, a novel adventure. I'm Michael King, author. I'll see you guys tomorrow. Have a great night's sleep or have a great day, and I'll see you on the next action-packed sci-fi adventure. Cheers, guys.